All right, guys, this is effectively going to be another Move podcast episode for 13 instead of as opposed to 13 for Human Game Console podcast. We already did that one, but we're doing another one for Move, which is episode 13. So, Mysterious Omniscient Universal Essential and Sound podcast, number episode 13. Originally, this podcast started off as being a general personality kind of thing, the depths of my own personality and what I meant by that in a philosophical level all the time at that point already. At the time, at that point, which was my general personality in a deep philosophical way. And then we branched a little bit off of that a little bit to claymation stuff because I was going to do Human Game Console podcast for all the self improvement stuff and the philosophies about pain, discipline, pain, regret, or even the moving out of your comfort zone, all that stuff, and learn to play the human game. That's a little bit more relevant to that, anyways, as a specific podcast type, as opposed to my personality happening to be deep and having to change it anyways. It's a little similar, but the intention was to brand claymation into more of a topic for its own podcast, but I didn't have to. I could have just made another podcast for claymation, but I instead decided to branch into claymation from this part, and so we ended up doing that. And I'm like, wait a minute, I still want to talk about claymation and deep stuff. What if I did both together? So nowadays, Move is now branching back one more time, reeling back into the deep stuff again, and even the personality stuff, in a way that even Human Game Console podcast doesn't always address. But it will still include claymation. So what I can try to do is talk about claymation with the deep stuff, and if it's not always the same thing, it's okay. But yeah, I'll try to talk about maybe one thing that maybe combines them, like how I can use stop motion pro clips to make claymation that I find as deep, but stuff like that. So um, there's a part of me that wants to talk about how do we overcome problems that seem eternally correct in the moment, but even things that people do know don't have to be driven off of the permanence of factor. I guess it's like a there's nothing truly permanent, not even what people eternally know. In a moment of knowing you, or in a moment of foreverness, there's not necessarily a point where people can hold over you the facts that they judge anyways over you the first test of time, even if they're right for a good reason. But you know, how is that related to claymation? You may ask. Well, there was one claymation I was gonna make lately, the test subject blue claymation. Still haven't yet. Whoops. But there is nothing entirely deep about that commission other than how creative it is and how it maybe intricately explains the fact that I would actually make claymation all of a sudden again in its own existence. But like I don't necessarily, I don't directly intentionally detail anything deep and philosophical about the test subject blue claymation, other than how creative it is for combining with Soul Eater's anime and other aspects of that. But Flash games and anime at that point. But I hoped in that moment, if even improvise in the meantime at that moment, or even afterwards, I'll improvise my creation to be more philosophical deep. Because it should be. Because if that's who I am in the meantime, why the hell am I going to do that? Especially if it struggles with quality content, niching down, all that other stuff. But, it's a pretty nice bargain there. It'd be like, have test subject blue be a suddenly random like philosopher and social nomad and be like, wait a minute, that's not a Flash game character I know about. Why are you doing this, Tony? Why are you doing this to us? Don't force your projection onto us just because you have to make content you like and other people like at the same time, which I do probably have to do. Well, sort of, it's different. It's different. Do I overcomplicate that? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I will complicate that to the heavens. Go, Tony. Go. Fucking make my content something that I like or what other people like, and then have that be simple, guys. I keep projecting that. I'm so sorry, but it's just how I feel at the moment. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. That's my authenticity. Speaking for myself. The bit projection already there, obviously, but fake dab. No, more like a cross dab and then dab. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, if test subject blue the claymation isn't already deep when I make it, I'm sorry. That's gonna be something I would do for myself at the moment. Maybe its own servitude for being creative and servitude wise for people, which serves the Deer's Inxio Glow Sparrow mission at that point from the other alt channel, which was the 50-50 for community and quality content creation, which could be a little different anyways for what I do here anyways for not niching down already, even this long into the knowing I was a commission animator or cartoonist for that matter. But on the topic of making creative stuff, if I didn't make something that deep with Test Subject Blue, then what I could do is after Test Subject Blue, this sounds procrastinating. This is why I'm gonna try and make Test Subject Blue deep anyways, if I can. But if not right away this time, I'll servitude that film, and then afterwards I'll make Xiao's house repeat, or I think the Hat Kid one's gonna be not too deep, so that's gonna be hard to do anyways. But for hand time, but like a Xiao's house return where I use another prop sculpt for Emilico instead of Kate, and I have Emilico do something deep for myself, my own, imaging issues and controversies, problem solving. Showing that in content to make sure I'm creative with that in a way that's helpful for everyone. What Emilica would do in this claymation is she would basically introduce. She doesn't even need dialogue for this. Like she just needs to be introduced in a situation where I can intricate a philosophy idea in an abstract way, and have examples of objects and background designs where she's in a situation that illustrates that better with or without dialogue. Dialogue would be nice in my opinion, but I don't need the dialogue, and then people might not want that to be mean to me, but like Tony, I love you, but don't get put dialogue in claymation just yet. You can't even sing well. Like, it's okay, but it's just I can sing pretty well in my opinion, but that's different. That's neither here nor there. But just but an illegal prop for the Shallow's House anime, and then have that be deep itself, and then after that Shallow's House claymation, if repeat thing, because I did have the song ready from Kate. The K pop, you can see the K claymation early ago. There's a follow edition that has a better visual, both the claymations and the singing, in my opinion. But if after the Shallow's House animation and the Test Subject Blue claymation, if I don't think I'm getting straight to my bigger, deeper projects that are more intricate and bigger and harder to deal with, the bigger scale projects that are longer form and longer scale, that don't have to be my reach right now, but I still want to make something I care about, then I could try to make a full song cover for something that I make originally, and make original props, like not even just like a Red Dead or a Warrior that doesn't even look like a stick figure, and have an actual real original claymation with original props I designed myself for original song cover, not just the Carotene song, Carotene Creamer. Have it be like that, and then see if I can work with that way better. But yeah, and none of these ideas have to happen in any chronological order or even at all. They're just here for the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna try to end this video suddenly instead of on a specific minute like I do for end card content stuff. So yeah, that'll be right now. Take care, guys.